Some of you out there don't know how to make gravy, and I'm not going to tell you that it's my brother, but no, I'm not going to tell you that. So today we're going to make some sausage gravy to put on our biscuits for biscuits and gravy. So first, an installment of maybe 2 ingredients. Some all-purpose flour, a little salt, a little pepper, maybe a little vegetable oil. Sometimes I use bacon grease instead, depending on the kind of the flavor of the sausage. A pan and some sausage. So let's get fired up. Over medium heat, we'll get some sausage crumbled into the pan, and we'll cook that up. And then once I get that cooked up, I'll be doing this all in the easy sleazy one pan method, which means I'll be making the roux right on top of the meat, which knocks down a little bit of the kitchen clutter and the complexity in doing the dish. So through the magic of the camera, we'll bring this back to you shortly. Come over, take a look. Our sausage is just about done. And you can see it's pretty lean. There's not a lot of oil in the bottom of the pan. And I like to think about having, depending on how many people, like maybe a cup of gravy, you know, for 2, maybe a little more if you're a real big gravy fiend like me, and that will require 2 or 3 tablespoons worth of fat in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is put eyeball a little bit, a few tablespoons of oil in there, let it get warmed up a little bit. When this finishes cooking off, and what I'm going to do after this is get my flour in here. And I like, my rule of thumb for flour is 1-to-1 with flour and oil. So I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons of flour, heaping. I'll just shake it over the top. 1, 2, and then we'll take a look at the roux after it's started, and we'll decide if we need to make any adjustments after that. Milk goes along with it. Plain old 2%. Yum yum. Whole milk, cream, whatever you want to use, half and half works good. Okay, now this is the important part. You gotta come over here and watch this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stir the flour into the sausage and the fat to make the roux. Get a little more heat on there. And what I'm looking for is things to start to brown up on the bottom of the pan. The one thing that you need to do is you need to cook the flour in just a little bit, enough so it starts to brown up and kind of get rid of that flour taste, because the last thing you want to do is have your gravy taste like flour. Looks like I'm going to need a little bit more oil. Oh, I think we're doing pretty good here. I'm just put a little splash in. And it's real easy at this stage to burn the crap out of it. So, I want to be real careful about this, but it shouldn't take too long to get this all sorted out. You can see it's kind of sticking on the bottom a little bit. Means I'm probably a little bit light in the fat department, but once I introduce the milk into the equation, that stuff will lift right off and it'll become real nice inside. So it's not quite burnt yet. Of course, this will take more time or less time depending on how much you're making. From here, I'll just start adding in milk a little bit at a time, because that'll kind of help you glaze the pan, but you also have to make sure that you keep stirring this constantly or you'll burn the heck out of it. Also, adding milk a little bit at a time like this gives you the opportunity to kind of sneak up on your gravy and cook it out to the thickness you'd like, rather than pouring too much milk in all at once and then having to go back and make up a secondary cheater roux to finish the job. Okay, now that everything is fully incorporated, you see we've got a nice gravy. You want to, add as much milk into the consistency as you like. And remember that having it a little watery for your taste is okay, because chances are if you let it sit and simmer for a while, it'll cook down. So now, what I like to do is add a little bit of, a lot of it.
But not too much.
Cracked pepper, freshly ground pepper, whatever you have available. And seasoned to taste, of course, and a little bit with the salt as well. Depending on the type of pork product you use, you may or may not want salt. I like to put just a little bit in as a flavor enhancer. It usually doesn't require too much. Stir it up. You can see how it's starting to thicken up even more now. Since this is going to sit and heat while I bake biscuits, I might add a little bit more milk later on. So what I'll do is I'll cover it up, and then when I come back to it, I'll stir it down and take a look and see where it's at. And if it's any thicker than about like this, that's too thick for me. That's when it starts to become gelatin instead of gravy. So there you have it, sausage gravy.